Hi, this is Amber Green from Louisville Public Library. Today we're going to be doing some crafting, but I wanted to let you know we're going to have a grab bag the first Monday of every month. It's going to be related to the craft. There'll be supplies in there for you, and it'll correspond with that Saturday's video. So this will be once a month, the first Monday of the month. Also, if you could leave a comment, we'd really appreciate it. It truly helps the library. Just let us know how many people are watching at home and if there's anything else you'd like me to do in the crafting videos or different crafts you'd like to see. Okay, let's get started. Hi, so today we're going to be making this cute little book charm. So it's supposed to look like a little mini book. And then we have just a eye pin on there. And that you can hook up to and make this into a necklace. You can hook up to like a little chain, or you could hook this to a keychain, anywhere you like. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is go over what you need today. So you'll need some sort of air dry clay, preferably. If you don't have a brand like this, you could always make some. They're very easy air dry clay recipes online that take about 3 ingredients. You'll need a paintbrush and then some Mod Podge, which can also be made using equal parts glue and water, and I would like craft glue. And then preferably some hot glue, just to kind of help us a little bit along the way. And then you will need, if you're making one book, you'll need 1 eye pin per book. It's just a pin with the loop around it. This is the one that opens, so you can open the pin up and kind of hook it onto other rings, for like jewelry. And then you will need your book cover, preferably print it off on some sort of cardstock. This is kind of like lightweight cardstock. You could use also like the really thick stuff. So you will need a printer to print off whatever your book cover design is. Remember, you can use the library printers during our open hours. So if you don't have one at home, to find your image, the best thing to do is kind of just first figure out what book cover you want. So if you want a specific book cover, this one is Snow White. This other one I did was just kind of like an antique looking book cover. It doesn't have a title or anything on it. And just bear in mind that whatever images you find, when you shrink them down, they're going to kind of distort a little bit. So find an image that is already pretty small. For this one was black and white, so I added some color to it with a colored pencil. This is what it looks like originally. It doesn't have any color on it. Well, the apple was red, but other than that, it was black and white, which I really liked the image itself, but I just wanted a little bit of color, so I added some, so you could do that too. And then for the back cover, I actually just found one online. It was just a Brothers Grimm back cover to one of their Snow White books. So I just aligned the images together, put a black stripe through it, so that's like the spine. So you could do that, you could make it yourself, you could even make something like this in paint, very simply. And then you, for the air dry clay, you'll just need a little bit, so I'm just going to take some off with the spatula here. So, and if I didn't say, you will need some sort of snips or cutters just to cut down your eye pin if it's too long. This is very long, a lot longer than my book will be. So if you make a bigger book, you might not even have to cut your pin and you might not need these, but just bear in mind you will need maybe some sort of tool. It doesn't even have to be snips, it could be like a, wire cutters or something. So what I did is to make your clay, you're wanting just like a square and you want it to be pretty flat. So kind of take your clay, whether you have, Crayola or you have, made some with a recipe you found online. You're going to kind of just with your hands knead this out. Just flatten it a bit, and you want some thickness to it, but you don't want it to be, super thick, because we're making a mini book. So once you have kind of got that squished down a bit there, you'll need some sort of tool to cut. You could use really anything. I'm just going to use these scissors, but you could also use like a butter knife or something like that. So you're just going to want to kind of cut some of these edges off. So it's kind of, imperfect edge. You want that straight across look. So kind of just go along, start cutting some of that off. And then once you're done doing this part, we will cut out our book, the pages there. And then you can kind of get an idea of how you need to size your square. You can do that before you cut if you would like, but I like to kind of just cut it down, make the clay piece a little smaller first, and then I can cut it down further since these books are so small. It's pretty big. It's a pretty big piece compared to what I actually need. Alright, so there we go. So now that's a little smaller there, and it's got some nice edges. So now just take your scissors and cut out your design. Just try to cut it out as straight as you can. Just take your time cutting. There we go. So now we're going to fold this over, so just like a book, kind of align those edges. Book. Just set that off to the side. Alright, so now we're going to further cut down our little piece here. So take your book and kind of just eyeball where you need to cut down. So I'm taking this edge and aligning it to the edge of my clay. Then I'm just going to make a cut with my scissors, get that out of the way, and then now I want to cut it down some more. So I'm going to put the spine up against the edge there, and then I'm going to cut off. So this is the piece that's going to be right here on the book. So I lay it in there. Again, you don't have to size this perfectly, you're just kind of wanting it to be similar in size to your paper. So once you've taken your piece there, you have a little bit of water, just kind of use that to smooth it down a bit. Smooth the edges a little bit. And the piece will go on. I'm going to set that down and let that dry just for a few minutes, and then we will finish this off, okay? Be right back. Okay, so we're back. So we're going to take our paper book there and take your piece, little square of clay, and set it inside. So there it is. I'm actually gonna flip it. I think I'm gonna flip it over because I like this edge a little better than the other edge. It's just a little straighter. So what you want your best side to be facing out. So now I'm just gonna take a little bit of this hot glue and just put a little bit inside there. So I just put the hot glue onto the paper side, and I'm just gonna smush it down a little bit. And then on the other side, so the back cover, I'm going to put a little bit on the inside of the back cover, just a little bit of glue. And then take your eye pin and go ahead and trim it down. So I'm just using the pliers, have a little cutter in there. And then take your eye pin and kind of stick it inside of the clay itself, and then figure out how far you want it peeking out. I don't want it peeking out too much, but a little bit there. And then you can shut your book closed. So you want to work pretty fast since you're using the hot glue. If you want to put your eye pin in first and then glue it, you can. Either way, but just make sure you work fast enough that your glue does not dry. Then just kind of squish it together a little bit. And if you have gaps, you could take your hot glue now and kind of fill those gaps. I have a little bit of a gap at this bottom, and I don't want that, so I'm just going to fill it with some glue. This is also going to kind of prolong the life of this little design we've made, because this is paper, so just bear in mind that if you're making this into a keychain, it will start to, deteriorate a little bit faster than, like a plastic keychain would. Usually I see these made into necklaces. And the little eye pin is perfect for that. So now I'm going to take some more of the glue and just fill the top. You could always try to, make the clay itself fit like perfectly, in there and size it perfectly, but I actually do think it's a little easier to use the glue, and then the glue just dries so fast as well. But yeah, bear in mind that this kind of clay takes about a day to dry. There's such a small amount here, it might be dry before 24 hours, probably, but I always just give it that extra time just to make sure it's totally set. Okay, so now it feels secure in there. All right, so now the last step is to take your Mod Podge and a little brush, and then just paint your book. So the whole thing, the back and the front. Get that spine, the side there. You can even put a little bit around the open sides. And then I'm going to pick it up from the eye pin just because I don't want to mess up that glue that I put there. And then put some glue on, again, the front. This is just going to prolong the life of your book. It's just going to keep it nicer for longer, and it's going to look a little bit glossy, which is nice. Now I have that on there. just like this one. You can see it kind of, I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of glossy. It's not, you know, just that paper. It just has a like nicer feel to it. So now I can put this on, you know, again, like a necklace chain and then wear it as a little necklace. But yeah, again, keep in mind this is, you know, paper, so it will not last forever. But it's just something fun to make. You can make tons of them. And then of course, over time, you could make some more again if they get kind of worn. So again, I hope you enjoyed and watch next week. Thanks for watching our video today. Join us again next week and every week on Saturdays for a crafting video. Also, again, there'll be a grab bag once a month on Mondays, the first Monday of the month, corresponding with that Saturday's craft. Again, please leave us a comment in this video. We'd really appreciate it. It helps us a bunch. And don't forget to stay safe out there.